Jackson took his 20,000 on a long flank march today, 50 miles through mountain gaps to hit them where they lay. Struck the Yankee depot hard and burned their rations clean, left them hungry, left them hurting while his boys stayed mean. Then he slipped into position on that railroad cut so deep, laid his trap and waited quiet while the Federals took the lead. Manassas thunder rolled across the bloody ground, gray coats stood like iron when the blue coats came around. Lee split his army smart and Jackson held the line. Longstreet brought down the hammer at the perfect time. At Bronner's farm the evening light was fading in the west. Jackson's men hit him hard and allowed no rest. Muskets flashed at 50 yards of smoke rolled thick and black. Boys were loading, firing, falling, never turning back. They traded volleys face to face until the barrels glowed. Charged and countercharged in the dying light that flowed. Stonewall's devils wouldn't yield an inch of that hard ground. Held their line through blood and powder till the sun went down. Hope threw his column straight against the railroad bank. Wave on wave came charging, our canister flayed their ranks. Men were crouched behind the ties, loading fast as they could go. Grape shot tearing through the air and laying Federals low. Still they stood and fired steady when the blue lines pressed in close. Held that cut through shot and shell while comrades fell in rows. Jackson's boys refused to break, though numbers pressed them sore. Kept their powder dry and courage high and asked the Lord for more. Judgment Day, 20,000 strong and yelling as they moved into the fray. They crossed the open ground while Yankee guns tore their line. But the gray wave never faltered, never slowed its steady climb. They closed the gap with bayonets and muskets blazing hot, smashed the Yankee left flank open in one crushing final shot. Pope's whole army started breaking as the gray coast drove on through. Men were running, men were screaming as the rebel tide broke the blue. Manassas thunder slowed as the day was won. Gray coats showed their courage, broke the Yankees and got it done. Lee's bold plan was brilliant, Jackson's line didn't shake. Longstreet's mighty hammer made the Yankees break. They held when others would have run, they charged when others broke. Lee's boys won at Manassas, another Southern masterstroke.